Hello and welcome back to A Course in Miracles. We are in the workbook for students on lesson 71. Only God's plan for salvation will work. Number one, you may not realize that the ego has set up a plan for salvation in opposition to God's. It is this plan in which you believe. Since it is the opposite of God's, you also believe that to accept God's plan in place of the ego is to be damned. This sounds preposterous, of course, yet after we have considered just what the ego's plan is, perhaps you will realize that, however preposterous it may be, you do believe in it.
The ego's plan for salvation centers around holding grievances. It maintains that if someone else spoke or acted differently, if some external circumstance or event were changed, you would be saved. Thus, the source of salvation is constantly perceived as outside yourself. Each grievance you hold is a declaration, and an assertion in which you believe that says, if this were different, I would be saved. The change of mind necessary for salvation is thus demanded of everyone and everything except yourself.
The role assigned to your mind in this plan, then, is simple to determine what, other than itself, must change if you are to be saved. According to this insane plan, any perceived source of salvation is acceptable, provided that it will not work. This ensures that the fruitless search will continue, for the illusion persists that although this hope has always failed, there is still grounds for hope in other places and other things. Another person will yet serve better. Another situation will yet offer success.
Such is the ego's plan for your salvation. Surely you can see how it is in strict accord with the ego's basic doctrine. Seek but do not find. For what could be more surely guarantee that you will not find salvation than to channelize all your efforts in searching for it where it is not?
God's plan for salvation works simply because, by following His direction, you seek for salvation where it is. But if you are to succeed, as God promises you will, you must be willing to seek there only. Otherwise, your purpose is divided, and you will attempt to follow two plans for salvation that are diametrically opposed in all ways. The result can only bring confusion, misery, and a deep sense of failure and despair. How can you escape all this? Oops, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. It's getting pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. How can you escape all this? Very simply. The idea for today is the answer. Only God's plan for salvation will work. There can be no real conflict about this, because there is no possible alternative to God's plan that will save you. His is the only plan that is certain in its outcome. His is the only plan that must succeed.
Let us practice recognizing the certainty today, and let us rejoice that there is an answer to what seems to be a conflict with no resolution possible. All things are possible to God. Salvation must be yours because of His plan, which cannot fail.
Begin the 2 longer practice periods for today by thinking about today's idea and realizing that it contains 2 parts. Each salvation will work, each making the equal contribution to the whole. God's plan for your salvation will work, and other plans will not. Do not allow yourself to become depressed or angry at the second part. It is inherent in the first. And in the first is your full release from all your own insane attempts and mad proposals to free yourself. They have led to depression and anger, but God's plan will succeed. It will lead to release and joy.
Remembering this, let us devote the remainder of the extended practice periods to asking God to reveal His plan to us. Ask Him very specifically, what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? And what would you have me say, and to whom? Give Him full charge of the rest of the practice period, and let Him tell you what needs to be done. by you in his plan for your salvation. He will answer in proportion to your willingness to hear his voice. Refuse not to hear. The very fact that you are doing the exercises proves that you have some willingness to listen. This is enough to establish your claim to God's answer.
In the shorter practice periods, tell yourself often that God's plan for salvation and only his will work. Be alert to all temptation to hold grievances today and respond to them with this form of today's idea. Holding grievances is the opposite of God's plan for salvation, and only his plan will work. Try to remember today's idea some 6 or 7 times an hour. Sometimes that seems funny because that's like, what, all day?
That's like every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There could be no better way to spend half a minute or less than to remember the source of your salvation and to see it where it is.
Yeah.
Every 10 minutes?
Well, when I'm camping, it's always.
Right?
It's all the time. It's all the time. I never get distracted because I'm alone, and there's just nature in my van,
Yeah.
and
How
there's no
amazing.
distractions. It's really the fast track to peace.
Yeah. Yeah. I aspire to that.
So what is a grievance? We never really defined it.
Didn't we in some of our previous
Like
your
we have
grievance?
we have an assumption of what it is, but like um
To hold a grievance is to see yourself as a body. To hold a grievance is to let ego rule your mind and to condemn the body to death. So it's not specific, but
but it's very abstract. That's abstract.
yeah.
When
Um,
I'm alone and I'm in peace, I don't need anything to be different. I'm just happy with however it is.
yeah.
And that's it. But then when I get with people, the mind goes, oh, it starts to, oh, I should be different or they should be different in order to feel that peace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the grievance. The grievance is wanting something to be different, someone to be different, including yourself. Like for me, it's always been, well, I have to change in order for someone else to be happy. I have to compromise my peace in order to bring comfort to them because they have
Yeah.
all these needs.
Well, and I can't speak my truth because I might offend, hurt,
Right,
upset.
right.
So then, therefore, right off the bat, you're not your authentic God self.
You can't be just yourself. You can't just say what you want to say because
Yeah.
there's all these rules and
And fear of what people
fear.
might do, say,
But
think, feel.
what are we really afraid of?
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's the bottom line.
We want others people's acceptance. That's what we want. And if we
Yeah.
don't get it, we're not going to be saved. We're not going to be happy. We're not going to feel connected
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
so there's we're not free
Yeah.
until we realize that we don't need anybody's acceptance. But
Yeah.
that's because we were taught that our salvation lied in other people.
Yeah.
But now this
Well,
is
and we've been hurt by things that people have said and done. So then we censor what we say and do.
right because that's only because we believe we're a body, we can be hurt.
Yeah.
But our true self can't be hurt.
Exactly.
So yeah, so there's a shift from being a body to being not a body. Like
Yeah.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
We are peace itself.
Mm-hmm.
Peace doesn't need anything. But it's the shift from being we have needs. Like what do we really need? Like I was thinking about when you start going out with somebody, you think, okay, well, if I was to move into somebody's home, I would have to have there would be all these rules. Like I wouldn't just be able to sit around. I'd have to like do the work and do the chores with them,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's shared chores to do. The thing is, then I'm um I'm not free.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do what I want to do because there's all these rules. They're not
Hmm.
my rules. So it's difficult because when I'm at home, I can do whatever I want. Like there's nobody telling me what to do and what to say, and it's more freeing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's learning how, it's just learning how to navigate all through that. Yeah, that's just my little spiel.
Yeah. Yeah, I think of that a lot. I have a way I like living,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and probably a lot like you. So how do you incorporate somebody else into that? I don't want anyone in my space. Don't touch that. Don't
Mm-hmm.
move that. Yeah, but you're welcome to be here. Just don't touch anything or look at
Right.
anything, right?
Sit in the
It's
corner.
kind of silly. And if you go into their place, it's like, well, I don't want to touch their things or move
Yeah.
this over to make room for my things or my ideas or whatever. So, yeah.
The thing is, I'm a very generous person. I love to help around and stuff and make the meals and stuff. But that's a high level of energy, and I'm
Yeah.
not always up there all the time.
Right?
Like there's not there's times when I just want to do nothing all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that going to be okay for someone else?
Right.
Yeah.
And there's all these questions, like, but it's the way to negotiate, I guess. But like I don't have a lot of needs, so and that it feels like other people do. So it's like maybe maybe just the way things are is perfect already. I don't need to change anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
only God's plan for salvation will work. And so maybe I don't need to change anything. But there's this thought I need to change something.
And that's the ego at work in you perfectly,
Yeah.
right?
Right? Like, so it says, if this were different, I would be saved. That's the number two. Um, e- each grievance you hold is a declaration and an assertion in which you believe that says, if this were different, I would be saved.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then
So
it
we're
says the
not
change of mind necessary for salvation is thus demanded of anyone and everything, except, oh, I see,
accept yourself.
accept yourself. So I underlined that with the wrong idea because it's only us. Yeah, anyway. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
If this were different, I would be saved. So every time we hold a grievance for someone else, like we want them to do something different,
Right.
that's holding a grievance.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
I do that
in
all the time with
Al-Anon,
my
it's
husband.
live and let live.
Mm-hmm.
Like live, live in peace and let others live in peace.
Mm-hmm.
But other people can't seem to live in peace very
Mm-hmm.
well. They're always wanting something,
Right.
something they want. And so for me, I'd rather just stay out of their way, right? Because, that's their stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just be at peace. So it's hard to be with people. It
It
is because
is.
they have so many expectations when I'm around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just it's I am already saved. The thing is other people don't know that. I don't need anything. Hmm. But God will bring whatever we need into our lives.
Hmm.
And we don't need to make anything happen. We just have to let it happen and
Hmm.
without a grievance. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But we do have all this stuff that comes up when, so you're living in perfect peace by yourself, which is perfect.
But
And the
I'm
thought of
never
bringing
alone.
a partner in creates all this chaos and drama. And how is
It
this going
does
to work?
because they haven't, most of them haven't realized that peace is now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's all these ideas about, you know,
Yeah.
how things should
Peace in
be.
the future.
And we have those same rules, you
Yeah.
know. Take your shoes off at the door, blah, blah, blah. Like there's rules. Well, who can live with all of that?
Mm.
Yeah.
Right? You know, you can't. You, if you want to live together, there has to be compromise. There,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? But if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Oh my gosh. I
Well,
know
it's funny when
I've
my
been single
most
for
recent,
10 years and I see all these people living together and I'm like, are they happy? Like I don't even know. Like I think they are
Mm-hmm.
and they appear to be. But are they really? Like are they compromising? Like I don't really know. Because, 10 years later they're like, "Oh, they're divorcing or they're separating." I'm like, "Oh, I guess they weren't happy.
Mm.
I guess they wanted something
well, then
something
we can
different."
ask Kelly. She's got 33 years experience here. I think it's
I,
probably a lot of compromise.
it totally is, and I can hold grievances like for a long time. Like, why are you picking those weeds and putting them in the pile? Why don't you pick those weeds and put them directly into the thing? Right, just
Yeah.
all day long. So for me to be able to say this every 10 minutes should be easy because those other grievances are going through my mind every 10 minutes. Why did you use that cutting board? I only like to use that one for bread and not for meat.
Perfect.
And just like all freaking day long. It's like I'm having this second, like this twin brain that's has all these comments to make, and I'm like, does it really matter? Just
Those
shut
are
up. It doesn't
exactly,
matter.
exactly. Those are all the rules
Yeah.
you've created
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I still
for
have
whatever
them
reason.
because I
But
have to let them go,
what
so
about
they
your
still
husband's
exist.
what about your husband's grievances? Like, do you get anxiety
No,
from your
no.
from what he's wanting of you or expecting of you? Like, does he have that?
No, I don't think he really has that many expectations. Well, he probably does have expectations, but we both keep it in our brain, right?
Oh,
And just that running monologue. But
just let's keep the peace,
yes,
but still hold grievances.
that's right. Yes, that's my motto.
And it says this
Uh,
that won't work.
no, exactly.
Only God's plan for salvation will work, which is
Yeah.
sustained happiness. It's like there, it's funny how we hold stuff and we think
Hmm.
if we hold it, then it'll just go away
Right.
on its own.
Or it's too important to let go, so we hold it.
Or
Yeah.
it's not important.
Hmm.
That's my thing right now is I've had a new boy here for a month and
Hmm.
he asked me what all the rules were and I thought, oh, it's only 2 months, whatever. And so there's some things that are irritating. And then last night I was like, so irritating, be irritated. Or in fact, it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line is it
Right.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Just noticing the faults of others, like they're doing this wrong, they're doing that wrong. Like you can point them out in your mind, but don't point them out to them if it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And nothing
Then
matters.
what,
Honestly,
Yeah.
but
nothing
why do
matters.
people point out their people's faults when it doesn't matter?
Well, that's because they're feeling insecure and they want to point out someone else's flaws so
They're
no
always
one
in
sees your own.
comparison mode, like, well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that, or you like it's just
Yeah.
comparing all the time, and
Yeah.
it creates anxiety for me. I know every time I feel I'm being compared to,
Mm.
like, like I don't need all of that stuff in my life,
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It's like,
Well, that's the saying, pick your battles, right? What is important, what is not important.
Yeah.
no.
Cutting steak on your breadboard is not the end of the world.
Oh, it almost is.
Okay, so it there's a lot of grievances that come up in the kitchen. It's like, why are you cutting it like that? I
Oh,
cut it
yeah.
like this.
Yep.
Or you're not going fast enough. I could do that in 2 minutes. You're gonna take a half an hour.
And then Tony will say, but I'm helping. Yes.
Yes,
Yes, you
Right?
are. Yes, that's right. I'll shut up now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it
It's
doesn't matter if the onions are cut huge or small or fast or slow. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, because there is a desired outcome and we're holding on to that. We're not actually in the moment, in the present moment, enjoying the cutting or
Yeah.
enjoying just
Exactly.
being in the moment. It's
Mhm.
always
Yeah.
about we got to get to some destination and we got to
Yeah.
get there by 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Or it's
it's
going to be
always in
ruined.
a time-based thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
And that is not peace.
No.
No.
But
No.
we think the world is going to give us our peace. Like if we, well, this food is going to give me my peace,
Mhm.
when I eat it.
Yeah.
But cooking the food can be just as enjoyable as eating it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But
Hmm.
we forget that. Or
Well, and
joking
we have a
around.
story. I've been cooking for 50 years. I'm tired of cooking, so I'm just going to
Mhm.
make everything super simple and fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting there too.
And
Yeah.
that'll be your salvation, doing it fast.
Yeah.
So it, it's like there's always these rules for
Yeah.
peace.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this lesson is saying, no, there are no rules for peace. Just choose it.
Yeah.
And all that
Yeah.
other stuff, it was just all the rules,
Mhm.
all the conditionings.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All the programming, all the
Mm-hmm.
that, and that's all ego.
Mm-hmm.
All ego.
We assign roles, and the mind assigning roles about what
Mhm.
will make you happy and what will not make you happy. And
Yep.
it's so based on externals, right?
Yeah.
And peace doesn't work that way. It doesn't um
No, it doesn't. It doesn't happen that way. Peace just is.
Mhm.
We just like to cover it up with all our grievances.
Right.
because we
But it's
want,
good.
yeah,
With
because
watching Michael Murdad, he talked a lot about what would you have me do and not do? What would you have me say and not say and those kinds of things. So I've been saying that for a couple of years already. And then for me, I know I just trust that if I put my foot in my mouth saying something, I say sorry, maybe in my mind first. And then I think, well, maybe I was supposed to say or do or think or understand
Mhm.
that way.
Yep.
So I really give myself a lot of breaks. Like I don't do anything on purpose to hurt anybody. I never do. But sometimes things come out of my mouth that are unkind. Well, and I just trust that that's supposed to come out anyways. I don't
Mhm.
intentionally, right? Does that make sense?
Totally.
yeah.
I don't
And if
intend
you
on,
do, and if
yeah,
somebody is hurt, then they can speak up.
yeah. Well, and also if it hurts my heart, like I say it and I go, oh, that really doesn't feel good, then I say something. I'm
Mhm.
really sorry. That didn't feel good what I say. 9.5 times out of 10, they're like, what? I don't remember you saying that. It was just the
Yeah.
feeling I had when I said it that didn't feel good. So I still clean my side of the street, so to speak, right? But
Mhm.
Yeah.
if it, oh, did I
Yeah.
say that?
My
Wow.
my biggest grievance is holding in my feelings, because if I say what I feel, like I feel ignored by you, say, just as an
Yeah.
example, I'm going to be attacked for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'll just keep it to myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's holding a grievance.
Well, and
I have to
we
speak
have
up and
stories
say,
around
I
that.
feel ignored in this relationship, or I don't feel appreciated. But the thing is, they're going to hear that wrong,
Yeah.
and they're going to think I'm attacking them, but I'm
Mhm.
not. I'm just speaking my feelings.
Yeah.
And it's all about communication, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And not being worried about how they're going to take it. But
Yeah.
if I'm worried about how they're going to take it, it's because I want their acceptance.
Yeah.
And they're going to take it all wrong. They're going to misunderstand me. And then I might as well not have said anything. And all this stuff, I'm very sensitive. So I hold a lot in because
Yeah.
I'm so afraid of attack. But
Yeah.
why am I afraid of attack? I wonder why my dad attacked a lot.
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
we had a certain feeling, we weren't allowed to have them. And we
Mhm.
got
No,
punished.
definitely not.
So it's like this old wound is always there.
Yeah.
Um, but that's all in the past now. And it's like now God's plan for your salvation will work. Now you get to speak up. Now you get to say the things you want to do. Say you can feel the things you want to feel and you can share it. Even if other people don't get it. It doesn't
And what
matter.
would you have me say and to whom?
Mm-hmm.
What would you have me do? What would you have me go? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say and to whom?
And be brave and courageous
Yeah.
while
And
you're
trust.
saying
And trust that this is supposed to be said.
yes.
Because you're not ever coming from, like me, you're not ever coming from a place of hurtfulness. This is expressing a need that our body has,
Mm-hmm.
and even to just share your feelings.
But I trust certain people and their reactions. I
Yeah.
trust that, so I'm not
Yeah.
gonna even try to wish they were different because they are the way they are.
Yeah.
People are the way they are, and I know them. Like I know
Yeah.
people. I've
Yeah.
experimented so many times, and they just come back with the same reaction,
Yeah.
this defensiveness because they're defending themselves, and I just go, okay, well, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need them to see me. I need to see me. Like I need to hear
Yeah.
me and see me, and that's God. That's the
Yeah.
God within that I need to see. And nobody can do that. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
can see the God in me. Everybody sees the God in themselves.
Yeah.
So it's an inside job.
Always. Always. So every 10 minutes for half a minute, we are to remember today's idea.
Yep.
Only God's plan for salvation will work.
What would you have me say?
What would you have me do or not do?
Where would
Say
you
or
have
not
me
say,
go?
think or not think,
Mm-hmm.
understand and not understand.
Yeah. It's interesting. You could say those things to people when they're telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What would you
You could
have
say,
me do?
"What would you have me do?" And it shuts them up.
Mm-hmm. Or if they say something that you feel is ignorant or rude, you can just say, "How would you like me to respond to that,
Right.
Right? I'm
asshole?"
going to add that.
Yeah, it just stops the ego in its tracks, doesn't it?
Right? Yeah.
It's your power. It's our,
Mm.
it's yeah, that'll work,
Yep.
actually. God's plan for your salvation will work, and others will not.
Excuse me.
Do not
Kelly, I
allow
really like
yourself to
that.
become depressed or angry. Yeah.
Yeah, because if someone asks a question that's tricky and you can feel it when you hear the question, well, how would you like me to respond to that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How would you like me to respond to that?
Yeah.
Do
What
you
would you
want
have
to
me
know?
say? Yes.
Yeah,
How would you want me have me? Yeah. How would what would you have me say?
yeah.
That
Well, because,
satisfies your ego.
Yes.
right.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes, yes. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
this is the key.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love these questions. These are good ones because they just
Mhm.
throw it back at the other. They throw it back at,
Yeah.
and it creates a neutrality. It creates a like a stop. It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
stop.
Well,
Yeah,
these questions are to ask God, what would you have me do?
I
So
know, I
then,
know.
Yes.
okay.
But God is in everyone, right?
Yeah,
So is the ego, but you can be talking to the ego as well, right?
yeah,
You can say, well,
yeah.
what would you have me do? And then it stops the ego because the ego thinks it knows everything.
Yeah. All things are possible to God. Salvation must be yours because of his plan, which cannot fail. We're stumbling along perfectly in the path that he's chosen for us, the path that God's chosen for us. We're remembering, we're learning, anchoring in certain things, and we love ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. and we hold no grievances, and happiness is our function.
Exactly.
Well, and we all hold grievances, so we just do our best to acknowledge that. And except you, Nina, when you're in your van in nature, you're at peace. I can just tell.
Ah, the
I know.
angels are singing.
Yeah, no, I'm singing songs and I feel like I'm a child again. Like I
Mm-hmm.
feel like my parent is taking my child on a holiday. And I get to choose where we go now instead of being told where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Or I get to if I want to say I want to stop here, the parent's not going to say no, we're not stopping here.
Right.
Hmm.
The parent goes, "Oh, you want to stop here? Oh, sure, whatever you like." And I'm reparenting myself because I'm
Mm.
finally getting to have my voice
Yeah.
instead of always being shut down, shut down, shut down, shut down. Not don't talk,
Hmm.
don't talk, don't talk.
Hmm.
So it's my turn now.
Yeah, I actually heard a parent say that at the beach yesterday. Whenever you don't get your way, you start whining. Stop it.
Mm.
Oh, see, the
It was
child
hard.
wants something and he can't have his voice. He can't
Mm-hmm.
have
Yeah,
his wishes. He can't have his desires. Can't have
yeah,
anything.
yeah. And then another family comes along and she's happy and the kids are happy, and I'm like, it doesn't take much to make kids happy. It was just so obvious to me.
Mm.
And I thought, oh, how sad.
See, This is
How
Mm-hmm.
this
sad.
is this is spirit showing you the contrast.
Yeah, without a doubt. It was
Yeah,
very clear.
yeah,
Yeah. As I also stared down the beach at a couple with their great big dog on the beach searching for shade
yeah.
because it was 30
And
degrees, right?
Yes, it sure was.
and then when you want to get into a relationship with another person, they instantly become a parent, like
Mm.
the parent.
Yeah.
And then I become the child
Mm-hmm.
again, and I have to acquiesce. I have to obey, and I can't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Like
I won't.
no,
I won't do that
it
anymore.
just won't happen. Even if I
Yeah.
tried, it
Yeah.
just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even willing. Like I'll try to suppress it first, but then it's not sustaining. It doesn't,
Right.
yeah, and it's not
Well, you
being
can't
who I
pretend.
truly am, right? That's my
Yeah.
full sense of self over there.
Yeah. Well, and you can't pretend.
No.
You can't pretend that it's okay because that's acquiescing and it doesn't feel good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because
Yeah.
I'm giving away my peace. I'm
Yeah.
compromising, right? And
Yeah.
so this lesson, that's why only God's plan for salvation will work. You can't you can't follow other people's rules. You have to follow your own peace, your own joy,
Hmm.
your own exploration, your own adventure, your own freedom. And if
Yeah.
anybody tries to take it away from you, you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
The threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It says in 2, the ego's plan for salvation centers around holding grievances. It maintains that if someone else spoke or acted differently, if some external circumstance or event were changed, then you would be saved, or then you would be happy, or then you would be at peace.
Mm-hmm.
So everything out there it's conditional on everything out there.
Yep.
Hmm.
Even if someone's telling me what to do, I can still have peace.
Yeah.
That's the time.
Yes.
I know it's mastery, and that's no small feat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can be kind and also be at peace. We don't have to lash out and tell people, you can't tell me what to do.
Yeah. But we do.
Yeah.
Right? But mastery is learning how to say it kindly without hurting them, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we've been hurt and we know what it feels like.
Hmm.
Right?
Exactly.
Do unto others
Exactly.
as you would have them do unto you. The golden rule.
God's plan will succeed. It will lead to release and joy.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can just rest in that and be peace.
Yeah. In the knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we see a divided world, it's because our purpose is divided. It says in number 5, your purpose is divided, and you will attempt to follow two plans for salvation that are diametrically opposed in all ways. And the result can only bring confusion, misery, and a deep sense of failure and despair.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I met this guy, and he has no idea like about different things in the world that we do, like we know, like because we've been doing our research about the world, and there's a lot of things he has not a clue about. And in my superiority, in the ego's superiority, you would say, "Oh, he's so asleep,"
Right.
Yeah.
right? But he doesn't talk about being awake. He's more of just a doer. Like he just is. He just knows what is peace and what is not. He doesn't talk
Right.
about it. Like I'm a talker and I love to discuss stuff, but he's more of a doer.
Yeah.
And that's refreshing
Hmm.
because it's it's not like he's asleep, but everybody's awake in their own everyone's awake in their own world. But in my eyes, they look asleep. So what am I saying about my world, right? Like, do I want my whole world to be constantly in conflict? Like, I'm awake and you're asleep. That world is diametrically opposed. It's in
Hmm.
conflict.
Yep.
It is.
And what do we
Yeah.
want in our world, right? What do we want?
Yeah. Peace.
Yeah,
And
we
not to
say
be
we
right.
do. We say we do, but do we? Like
Right.
Right.
that's the question.
That's
Oh,
the
and we
ticket.
allow other people to be just as they are.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
that, it's a test.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm going to end the recording here.